Oh yeah, you know who the fuck that is, bro. Like I gotta say this, man. As a prison abolitionist, do I believe he belongs in prison? Absolutely not. That punk ass nigga belongs on a fucking pike. No joke, bro. I'm not even playing, man. You need to do that nigga in. I'm not saying I'm not advocating violence, but I would not be disputing the idea of Vlad the Impaler coming back to go ahead and have a conversation with R.Kelly. But there's a lot of things to this, and I really feel like we should address this, right? So we can talk about how R. Kelly's redoing trauma. What's up, Miss Danger? What's up, Miss Danger? How you doing? We can talk about how R. Kelly's passing his trauma on to these young women or these young girls, really. But there's more. It's just more complicated than that because, as everybody knows, there was a whole bunch of people around him making sure that he was able to do this, right? Able to get away with this for years, including the police. Yes, the police. He had police on the payroll the whole time, and that is exactly how we got away with it for so long because if they were going to raid him, he would get notice from the police. And is that really surprising? Because from what I learned from going to prison, they have a lot of sympathy for child molesters and rapists, but they have zero sympathy for drug dealers. Yeah. So the fact that he was employing police is just not surprising. But what really blows my mind is there's this, do y'all know about Sparkles? Do you know about Sparkles, Miss Danger? Um, so Sparkles was the lady whose niece was in that notorious video where he ended up urinating on this little girl. Well, Sparkles also was somebody who enabled him because until that happened, Sparkles was knowing about his behavior and still allowing people around him. That shit was fucked up. And the thing is, I don't understand how people are allowing her to play a victim because she should be facing consequences too. Now, do I believe anybody should be in prison? Absolutely not. But people should face consequences. Some people should be done for. Like R. Kelly shouldn't be here on this planet. If you get what I'm saying, I'm not advocating violence, but he should just have a heart attack. He does not deserve to keep going because after all the foul stuff he did, it's not a small thing. Now, I think one of the things we got to see is how like the Boondocks is coming to real life right now. People are literally outside the courtroom defending this dude like, we gotta save R. Kelly. No, we don't. As an abolitionist, no, we don't have to save that motherfucker. I don't give a shit. If prisons end, he'll be released too. And I'll tell you, nobody will be charged for whatever they do to him if prisons stop happening because he deserves consequences. The things he did to these girls would not fly, and the fact that money and power can give people the space to get away with it is out of pocket. But also, it's crazy how many people will turn a blind eye because of power and fame. I mean, it's not really that unpredictable because it's super predictable. Like, that's been human history. It's been empire's history for a long time. But what is it that people will think that they're going to get out of that? What are they going to really, how are they going to be able to sit down at the end of the day and look at themselves with pride? Wow, yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah, big facts. And it really just blows my mind that we still got people defending him and like also then turn around playing victim. Sparkles honestly really disgusts me. Because like right now they're trying to be like, I told you. You told what? You told us in the documentary that you turned a blind eye knowing he was doing it until it happened to your niece. You put your niece in that situation. You are also culpable for what happened. Like, and it just, I don't understand. And the thing is, the reason this type of situations continue to go on within our society, within our culture, within our spaces is because people enable it. People think it's okay as long as they can gain something from it. And that should not be a thing that happens. That should not be how this world works. Now, men's reputation always seemed to be more important to people than the man's humanity. That's facts. People are more like, oh, is he a good person? Who cares? Does he have money and power? Yep, we're gonna ride with that. And that shit just blows my mind. Like, I just don't understand. Like, the thing is, even in the documentary, you saw how he had security going into high schools to help him pick up children. Do I have a passport? I do not. I don't understand the. Did you get your shot? Yeah, I did, but it's not really what I'm discussing right now. I appreciate the comment, but it seemed a little off topic to me, family. Um, but the thing is, like, they had security that would go in and help him procure children, and then we're all celebrating this, like R. Kelly being in trouble. But the thing is, like, this is a lot bigger than R. Kelly. And the racketeering charge and all that is whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't agree with the court system, but I do agree with consequences. And I think one of the real reasons that he's been able to do what he's done is not because the courts were just not only allowing it but protecting him. So the family wanted to go take their children back from him by force. Who would have gone to jail? The families would have gone to jail, right? And yes, a lot of the families too also enabled him. So how do we change this? How do we change these type of things in the way this world functions and going forward? Because R. Kelly, let's be 100, is not going to be the last one. He's sorry that R. Kelly. He's sorry that R. Kelly's meme of him singing to African girls before trafficking them. Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, like, I guess it puts a whole new outlook on that song. Ain't nothing with nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, right? It's more like he's really saying, ain't nothing wrong with some chimo time. Like, bro's a fucking weirdo, dog. Like, but also, I do gotta acknowledge this is him going from the victim to the perpetrator, because it started off with him being a victim at first. What's the song? We are all part of the money game. We have the tendency to ignore problems and then, when confronted, deny our culpability in society. That's just sad. Yeah, it's not even fly at all. I mean, I feel you, Leo. Like, that is something that people do. I mean, it's the price of what? Capitalism. This is how capitalism trains people to be, and it's not something. It's not something that's in any way okay, but it's something that is super normalized. And the thing is, it didn't start with R. Kelly. And even with his own story, he faced child molestation first at the hands of a woman who then now he grew up to be someone who preys on children. So he just perpetuated the same thing that happened to him. So the problem is definitely societal. The problem is trauma and people passing on their trauma to other people. The problem is a lot of things, but still fry that motherfucker. Fuck that dude. Because at the end of the day, the way it was like one of the most grievous examples of pedophilia and rape and extortion, besides maybe Jeffrey Epstein. Like, and then the fact that we got our own people trying to defend this dude. Like, why the hell are we trying to defend this fool? Like, I don't want him even be able to claim being black, bro. Like, I am mad he black to be 100. Yes, they didn't go after Hugh Hefner. Bet. Real talk. Hugh Hefner should have fried too. But it doesn't mean R. Kelly should walk now because they didn't go after this racist, this not racist. I guess he could be racist. I don't know. But Hefner's like rapist ass weirdo shit. Just because they didn't go after Hefner doesn't mean they shouldn't go after Kells. Also, like I said, I'll repeat again. I don't believe in prison. So I think that people should have came after Kells a long time ago. He should have gone on one of his shows, stepped on stage, and caught it. Like, had everybody come at him left and right. What do you think about prison abolition movement then? I'm kind of conflicted about that in cases like this. Well, here's the thing. I don't believe in prison, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in consequence. You feel me? I believe the police and prison should get out the way, and the people should have been able to handle that. You feel what I'm saying? It should have been illegal to go out and deal with R. Kelly from the people's perspective. You know what I mean? From the ability for us to roll up on him and be like, nah, man, there's going to be consequences for your actions. Instead of it being the law going, we're going to throw you in prison and make money off you. Ha. Look, we're doing something right. No, you're not, because y'all perpetuate the same problem all the freaking time. And it's just, it's disgusting, honestly. Democratic accountability. I like that. Exactly. The community, the families should be the ones to hold him accountable. He should have to face consequences directly to them, and the law should not intervene. Should not protect him, should none of that stuff. But in reality, the law itself, again, was the thing that allowed him to continue to do it. Because it was the police on his payroll. It was the fact that if people were to go after R. Kelly, he's a famous rich dude. You know they going to jail. If someone was run up and rock him, they're gonna do hella years. If they're run up to do him in, they're doing life. That's how that would have been. Community handling is the key. Exactly, Miss Danger. And so I get the arguments that the system is super racist and white supremacist, and they are really prosecuting him because he's black. And to a degree, I agree, but doesn't mean he's not just as fucked as everybody says he is because the system only cares because he's black. That doesn't it doesn't mute his shit, and I don't get why people do that, man. I feel like Huey Friedman right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys watch Boondocks, but that's how I feel about this shit. And I'm tired of people making excuses. I'm tired of my own people trying to make excuses for this fool. Because it was us, it was our children that he was victimizing. That's 100. Now, I won't sit here and defend this fool just because I'm an abolitionist. Bet. That feels like co-opting of the leftist rhetoric for right-winged agenda. Wait, hold up. Defending the predator under the guise of race politics is concerning. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I'm probably talking too fast. Let me slow down. I'm losing people watching because I'm just rambling. But I agree. I think there is some co-optation. I also think there's some truth to it, but it doesn't mean, again, that this person should be able to go without accountability because the system is racist. Because the system only cares because he is black. You know what I mean? The problem is that he's doing that and the system don't care about all these white predators as well. Money overrides race in the U.S., isn't it? They let Bill Cosby go free now. It doesn't override race. Money doesn't override race. It definitely makes a big difference, but it doesn't just override it. Bill Cosby went free. Yes, I think there's a lot of components to that. I guess I'm switching to Bill Cosby real quick, but Bill Cosby also hates black people. Like I don't know if you guys ever heard of the pound cake speech, where he literally demeaned black women and black single mothers and basically was saying that they're raising pig nannies that come in just steal and cause problems, and of course they get shot in the street. So Cosby specifically had the support of specifically the white community. There were some black folks who definitely did that supported him, but that was a specific situation where he had multiple layers. Not only is he like playing to white folks in the system and respectability politics, but he's also really loved for the hate he showed to us for like his black exceptionalism that he tried to promote. So I think Cosby has a specific type of dynamics, and that's where I actually think it's even more comparable to Hugh Hefner, because Hefner literally taught Cosby how to drug women in the first place. He taught Cosby about Quaaludes, and so that's why people keep trying to bring up Hefner when it talks about R. Kelly, but they're not really comparable because they're two different things. Like Kells is comparable to like Epstein. You know what I mean? That's more adequate comparison. And I think when we see a lot of people, I saw even black people who are like, he needs to be held accountable, but saying he shouldn't do the rest of his life in prison. And I feel conflicted about that because I do think that he shouldn't be in prison because I think nobody should be in prison. However, his life stopping and ending, I have zero problem with, because the degree and how egregious it was pretty unmatched. Like I said, except for like Epstein, that was unmatched. He literally had a harem of underage children, and that is definitely one of those things where you should probably face old school biblical consequences if you get what I'm saying. Try not to get like taken down or strike down by YouTube. So I'm not be careful what I say right now. I already probably crossed the line a few times, but hopefully they missed it. But I think one of those things is that we got to see what it takes to hold people accountable. We got to also stand up to the people who decide they want to diminish the severity and the violence that he was showing to these young black girls and boys. Because it's both. It's not It wasn't just girls; it was girls and boys. And I just found that out recently because that's new info to me. But I just found that out because I've been following this a little bit. But there's also the other point of it, right? I feel like he needs to go. My personal opinion, I don't feel like he's redeemable. That's how I feel about it. And every time he's sick and all this shit, miss me with that. I'm not hearing it. But how do we stop these cycles of trauma that penetrate so many communities that then are perpetuated by people, including celebrities, including these famous, powerful people who can do it to egregious levels that most people can never do it to? That's the real question. And one of the things I do think is like that's why I don't think he should be here because I feel like all he's going to do is perpetuate the same situations that was done to him onto other people who are then probably a few of them going to repeat that, if not a bunch of them. And if not, they're still going to live with horrid amounts of trauma for the rest of their life. I know I should have gave a trigger warning for this. I guess the title should have been enough to warn people. But yeah, just let me know in the comment section after ends what y'all think and what we can really do to change it. But I really think we gotta look at this shit honestly, and we also can't give people passes like Sparkles, who are trying to act like a victim when the only person who actually was victimized in the situation was her niece, and she kind of allowed that to happen in the first place, and she only cared when it happened to her family. Before that, she turned a blind eye, and there's so many other people who did the same thing, and it really speaks to a culture of child molestation, when all these people, including the people who are claiming to be victims, claiming to be, and I'm not talking about the survivors, I'm talking about the people who are around the survivors, claiming to be victim, enabled him to do these foul things in the first place. I mean, Sparkles brought her niece to him. Sparkles traded her niece for career opportunities. And the fact that everybody's like, oh, she's a victim. No, her niece is. Her niece is the survivor. Sparkles? Sparkles is just another perpetrator in this whole situation. And it's extremely frustrating that we don't see that. You know what I mean? That a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. That they want to like, because I saw all these articles popping up, over and over again saying, oh, Sparkles speaking out. Sparkles, like, there's a lot of people speak out. Sparkles' niece deserved to be able to speak out. Like, the people who were held hostage deserve to be able to speak out. But those who enabled this deserve to be held accountable. What do y'all think? Let me know. I'm going to end this real quick. Thanks for everybody joining. I know a lot of people just hopped on. Well, actually, let me read some comments first before I'll pull out. That sounded so wrong. Power dynamics seem to lead to this type of predatory behavior almost inherently. Patriarchy, white supremacy, class elitism, etc. We fetishize power and this thus justify evil. Do more streams. It's more interesting this way. Well, I mean, I appreciate it. That you think is more interesting right now, and I agree about the power dynamics too. I think, especially when you talk about like wealth, wealth is one of the worst power dynamics anybody has. You know what I mean? Like it's able to utilize to exploit people, not just children, but like adults as well. And there was actually adults he exploited. It's just not making the news because the children are way more egregious. Clearly, what he did to children is way more fucked up. But he exploited adults too. Exploited adult women and men as well. And so I think when we look at the Kel situation, we have to look at the wholeality of it too. Like, not only did he do to adults, but there are plenty of adults protecting him, plenty of adults making sure that he can do all sorts of egregious shit. Like I said, going into high schools and in middle schools with him to pick up children. Yo, that shit can't be allowed. But we can't also support prisons. So we have to hold them accountable ourselves, in my opinion. Do you like Twitch Destiny style setup stream covering stuff? I'm gonna do more streams. That's one of the things I didn't tell y'all with my new schedule. I'm definitely gonna be doing that. A lot more streams, but I'm not gonna commit to a set amount of streams. When stuff pops up that I feel like I want to speak on, I'm gonna speak on it. My streams are definitely gonna be shorter than Destiny or Whoosh or any of those people because it's not my style. You know what I mean? This is one of my longer ones already at 20 minutes. Um, but yeah, I definitely will do more things on this. But I had to speak on the Kel situation because I feel like we got to have some radical perspectives on it. From collective accountability, holding the people who enabled it accountable, to the idea of having alternatives to prison that aren't just going to allow him to just go forward. So I'm not talking about just some accountability process where people talk about it, but I'm talking about actual accountability and consequence for their actions. It's going to take all of us to change this culture. And some people are going to have to leave this planet, whether we shoot them to the moon or whatever. They're going to have to leave this motherfucking planet to be able to make a space that we can make that will allow us to move past this trauma being passed from one generation to another and making more and more predators. You feel me? Because at this point, what we see is him victimizing people, and who knows what's going to happen to those who survive that. Some are going to be advocates for people that are going through the same thing, and some, unfortunately, are going to become predators as well. And we got to stop it somehow. Anyways, thanks for rocking with me. I'm out of here. Deuces, much love. Feel free to get in the comment section. Pump this up in the algorithm. More people might see it. Or if you think this is too much and too triggering, I also understand that too. All right, deuces. I'm going to close this somehow.